Hi guys, welcome back to my world where no matter how old you get, you never need to grow up. And today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to talk about two of my favorite Ever After High dolls and characters. But before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Ever After High, although I will do a bigger video like I did for Monster High with some of my very special favorite Ever After High dolls in my collection. But in a nutshell, the thing about Ever After High and the thing about these two characters was that it was such a nuanced story in that we had the, are you a royal, are you a rebel, right? And so, you're on these two different sides. But it wasn't always that clear cut because life isn't that clear cut. And I loved that the writers did that with the story, that they didn't just make it, this is it, Raven's a rebel, Apple's a royal, they're not going to get along, they're not going to be friends, it's going to be like the mean girl and the outcast. They didn't go that way with the story, and I love that about Ever After High. So, Hunter Huntsman and Ashlynn Ella are my favorite Ever After High couple, next to Darling Charming and Applewhite, but we'll talk Darling Charming and Applewhite, but we'll talk about that on another day. The thing that I love about them is, there's a lot of things. First of all, Hunter Huntsman, we're going to take a look at this doll. This is my favorite male doll of all time, is Hunter Huntsman. Absolutely, hands down, on any level of my collection, he is my favorite male doll of all time, and we're going to talk about why. And then Ashlynn Ella, love her doll, very pretty doll, very nicely understated. This was like a 2-pack. I love her. I love her story because of that nuanced ambiguity in that, she starts out a royal and then she starts to kind of rethink that, and she kind of like walks a funny line as far as I'm concerned in this story. Her love for Hunter and his love for her is what kind of puts them into the rebel category because they're jumping stories and they're rejecting the roles, that they're supposed to take, on Legacy Day and all of that. But she also still has this kind of royal vibe about her. And one of my favorite scenes, when there's a webisode where they're still dating secretly and they're at a coffee shop and he gave a fake name, and the fake name he gave, wait, do you remember what the fake name was? It was Gunter Huntsman. Caden and I no longer call him Hunter Huntsman because of that. We have always referred to him as Gunter because it was just such a bonehead move and it was so adorable and it was just so funny. So we'll take a look at Ashlynn first. So she's the daughter of Cinderella. And so her fate, should she choose to accept it, is to become the next Cinderella, is the way the story goes. And, there's this whole thing about that you have to fulfill the destiny that was laid out for you, right? That's the whole story of Ever After High. And the concept of the royals and the rebels is that the royals are the people who are like totally like gonna go with that. Like, I'm doing it. And then the rebels started by, not started by, but with Raven being the first, out and proud rebel and proud, to say, no, I don't have to do what's in your book. I write my own story. And that's like the theme song of Ever After High. And it's such a great message. I love it so much. So Ashlynn is so beautifully understated. And I love that she's the daughter of Cinderella. But her clothes are not like super traditional Cinderella colors, although this isn't Disney's Cinderella necessarily. This is more Grimm's, as we know, as the Brothers Grimm, that whole situation with Ever After High. But anyway, they could have gone there, but they didn't. Excuse me. So let's take a look at her. Ooh. Now, the Ever After High dolls all had very similar facial features, and there wasn't a tremendous amount done as far as makeup. So of course it's very simple. Her hairstyle's really chill. I love this little braid. She's got this kind of, you know, somewhat cheesy thing going on there. Her earrings, though, like these were the little things that just made me love Ever After High so much. Her earrings are little shoes. They're little glass slippers. So cute. And I love the design of her dress, that even though this is, you know, it's cocktail length dress, it's a shift dress. We've got this kind of gauzy thing, but it's gauzy, but it's stitched so that it comes in at the elbow. So you get like a poofiness. You see in the poofy right there? And the poofy sort of peachy pink sleeves. Beautiful. This golden ribbon. And then this peplum is just like, this stuff was so good. It was so well made. And then this really cool pattern on the dress underneath, which is just really like an unexpected pattern. It's just, but it's floral. It's, you know, when you think about Cinderella, you think about her with the animals and out in nature, and, you know, how the birds used to come and hang out with her. Her purse is, of course, a clock because midnight, and she's got this really pretty ring on. I think we had a huge debate about what the ring was, back in the day, but it's a bird. It's like a little bird that landed on her hand, a la Cinderella, right? And then her shoes were so cool. So we've got these vines. Oh, the shoes used to be so good. Oh, the shoes. Oh, how I miss the day when dolls were like this. Oh, I mean, we're doing a really good job. I also think we could never figure out what her necklace was. We had a big thing about the necklace, but it turns out it's a bird cage with birds. So, but I remember at the time we weren't sure what that is. But it is a bird cage with little birds. So there you go. I love this outfit. I just think it's so simple, but elegant. And still royal in its flounciness and the fabrics and, Ever After High. Oh my gosh. And then when, you know, I think it was almost a little bit more sad for me with Ever After High, when Ever After High started to go down in quality in the clothing and everything, because obviously Monster High was very, very clever and beautiful. Well, not beautiful, but clever in its design, unique in their clothing designs, and all of that. But I think because we had stories and really strong characters in mind in our heads for the characters that were in Ever After High, because they were coming out of, you know, Grimm's fairy tales and different fairy tales, that they just went kind of to a really unique place in the clothing design, and it just always felt right for me in the beginning. You know, like I was always like, yes, that is so unexpected, but so beautiful, yet so totally on the money. And her hair's held up pretty well over the years. I think there's been a little glue seepage over the years up here. She could probably do with a nice little wash if I were so inclined. But she's just, I love her so much. And I love her story. I love that she was kind of like, but it was her love for this young man. This brash young man who, as I said, Gunter, Hunter Huntsman, is my favorite male doll of all time. I would date this doll. And now I'm telling you, you know, Nathan Rott was hot. Nathan hot, but I would date Gunter Huntsman, even though he's a great big dork. So Hunter Huntsman was early on the rebel side. He is the huntsman from the Snow White story. So he's kind of crossing barriers of story. And the thing about Hunter is that he's supposed to be the next hunter in the stories, which means that he's going to, you know, do things like he's supposed to go like cut out people's hearts and stuff. And he's supposed to kill animals and all of this stuff. And the thing is that Hunter doesn't want to do any of that. He doesn't want to harm anyone or anything. He doesn't want that. That's not what he wants for himself or for his life. And he falls in love with Ashlynn Ella, and it's through his love of Ashlynn, who of course has a connection to animals, that he really starts to embrace that truth that's deep down inside of him, and starts to see that he wants to live a life of peace and not a life of killing. And I just think, like, man, that is from a kid's doll line, really? So awesome. Just so awesome. And then their whole story comes out on True Hearts Day, which is very sweet. So let's take a look at why I love this doll. I love this doll so much. Oh, I love him so much. Okay, so here we go. So first of all, he totally looks like Caleb from Pretty Little Liars. We said that back then. I say it again now. This side of his head, which is shaved, is flocked. Yes, flocked.
iPhone disconnected.
Sorry, my husband just left the house and his iPhone disconnected from our speaker. So little noise in the back. This is flocked, okay? This is not just painted on. This isn't the days of painting on people's hair. And then he's got rooted hair. So this is rooted over here. I mean, it's so freaky how much he looks like Caleb. I love his strong jawline. I love his facial sculpt. I love his warm eyes. I think it's such a beautiful sculpt for a male doll. It's strong, but it's not overly strong. There's softness to it. His eyes have a softness. His smile has a softness. I love it. I love it. And boys got guns, okay? So that was the other thing. The Ever After High dolls, and in the Monster High dolls too. The guys had guns. I mean, this is a mighty strong man here with mighty big hands. And then he's got his bag that really, I mean, that looks like leather, right? It's plastic, but that looks so good, right? And then with the strap, look, he's got his little strings on his vest here. I mean, look at this. Look at the vest. Let's get the lighting. Hello. Look at that. That looks like it looks like leather. It looks like well-worn leather, but camouflage. And on the back, what's really interesting is you've got this sort of pebble leather look on the front, but on the back, we've got this hint at royalty with this pattern, is how I see this, honestly. And his hood has like this pebble leather look. And then his pants are really cool. And of course, he's got to have, you got to have your like multi-tool, right? If you're going to be a hunter. Look, I mean, these look like pants. You know why? Because they are pants. They look like sturdy twill. I'm going to go wear these in the forest to hunt things pants. And then the boots. The boots are amazing. The boots are absolutely just so on the money with the design. Oops, he just fell onto the microphone. The design, the color, and the Ever After High boys had articulated feet as well. See if I can get this off without hurting him, because it's been on here for so long. I don't want to accidentally yank off a foot. But they did have they were articulated at the ankles too. So they had this like really strong high articulation. He's got these like, we've got ropes and leather around our wrist because I might need rope, This is probably his bow pulling arm. He's so cool. There's just nothing about him that I don't like. I mean, would I have liked if this could have actually been leather? Yeah, but then that would have put or pleather, that would have put the price of this 2-pack way out of reach of all of us wonderful folks who were able to get it. He is so perfect, and they are so adorable together. Look at them. Such a happy couple. Such a beautiful couple. Yes, I love you. I love you too. I'm Gunter Gunsman. Gunter Gunsman and Ashlynn Ella. No, Hunter Huntsman and Ashlynn Ella. My favorite couple in Ever After High and my favorite male doll of all time. Like it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better than this for me as far as male dolls in my collection. I love the look. I love the execution. I love his face. I love the body sculpt. I just, love me some Hunter Huntsman. So, and Ashlynn's beautiful too, but she's not my favorite female doll, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I hope to, in the coming weeks, relive more of my Monster High memories, more of my Ever After High memories. I hope that Ever After High helped a lot of people similarly to the way that Monster High did, to feel included, to explore their feelings, to feel like they could stand up and be different and choose a different story for themselves. And because it's just such a powerful message. And I love the theme song so much. So good. That comes on in I'm in my car and that plays on my phone and I'm like, you rebel. I mean, I just love it. I dig it. I love it. So anyway, let me know if you are a fan of this couple or who your favorite Ever After High couple is. And I will talk to you guys again real soon. Love you. Bye.